With the 15th pick and with the 26th pick in the 2019 NFL Draft, the Washington Redskins select Dwayne Haskins, Montez Sweat.
Welcome, all my fellow Redskin brethren and sister. I am your man and resident Redskins fan, Lou. Thank you for joining me here on the Redskins Report. So, I was watching the Braves game on Friday night, got off of work late, so I'll give you a little bit of backstory as to how I found out about this video. And I was late to the party, man. I was way late to the party. And I got off work late on Friday. The Braves played on, and I'm a Braves fan, Atlanta Braves fan, so the Braves were on at around like 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. I didn't get off of work until like 7. So by the time I got home, I had the game DVRing, and so I had to play catch up. So I was watching the Braves game, trying to catch up on what was going on there. And I put my phone away because I didn't want to know anything that was going on with the game. I didn't want to know score. I didn't want to know what was happening because I get updates on my phone via Twitter and via ESPN and all of these different apps, Bleacher Report. So I didn't want any parts of that. So I just stayed away from my phone. So I had no idea of what was going on. And so I was totally oblivious to all that was going on with this Jay Gruden situation. Nonetheless, the Brave game wraps up. I finished watching that, and so I'm allowed to check my phone at this point. And as soon as I open up my phone, voila, I see a bunch of people tweeting about it, but I have no idea what they're tweeting about. And so I send out a tweet, hey, if anybody's got the video, could you please send it to me? I haven't seen it, and I couldn't track it down for some strange reason. I tried to go straight to the account because I read a story that had the Twitter account linked to it, and when I clicked on that, the Twitter account, it was blocked. It was locked up. The person pretty much said, all right, I'm getting a lot of traffic, and they locked it up, which seems a little sketchy, and I'll talk about that a little bit later on. But, at that point, I'm like, well, I want to see what's going on because I was reading all these tweets, and people were saying, well, I can't tell if it's Jay Gruden or not. First of all, if you can't tell if it's Jay Gruden or not, you need glasses, okay? That's definitely our guy, Jay. And so, and first, let me thank everyone that sent me because I got this video from at least 10 different people. So let me just first and foremost thank everyone that sent me the video, that took the time out of their schedule, out of their day, their night, to send me the video so I could see what was going on. I appreciate that. So I was able to take a look at it. Like I said, multiple people sent me the video. I was able to take a look at it, and I'm like, I mean, it is what it is. And so the next thing I wanted to know was, well, how old is this video? Where is it coming from? There's so many layers to this thing. At the end of the day, I'm going to start here. I don't like this. One, I don't like it at all. And I'm going to tell you right now, this feels like a hit on my man Jay. And I don't know where this hit is coming from. I'm going to tell you where I feel like it's coming from. I can't confirm nor deny where the hit is coming from, but this feels like a hit, a personal attack on my man Jay, and I'm not with this at all. And first of all, you know how I feel about Jay. I already told you, Jay feels like a guy, and I don't know him personally, but I told you, I've always liked Jay, which is why I wanted him to work in Washington. Not many people can put up with the nonsense, the chicanery, the tomfoolery, the dysfunction that goes on at Redskins Park each and every single day, and Jay does it with a smile on his face. Jay does it with a sense of humor. It's hard to last in an environment like Washington. There's a reason why Daniel Snyder has never had a coach get a second contract under his regime. It's hard to work for an organization that simply is at the peak of dysfunction. All right. Jay's been able to do it and do it well and do it with a smile and do it with a sense of humor for the last 6 years. It's going to come to an end very soon as maybe next week. All right, maybe after Sunday's game, we could be talking about the last 48 hours of Jay Gruden being Redskins head coach. And I want that to happen because of on the field issues. I want that to happen because of philosophical differences. He doesn't want to play Dwayne Haskins. As you see, he's going to go out on his terms with Colt McCoy at quarterback if this thing ends on Sunday. Now, that's why I want Jay gone. I don't want Jay gone because of something like this. I don't want Jay remembered because of something like this. And again, I like Jay. Let's keep that in mind. And I've reiterated this to you. I like Jay. I do not like Jay as a head coach. But the two are very different and have nothing to do with one another. I've always said Jay seems like a dude you could go kick it with, go have a beer or a drink with. You know what I mean? Jay seems like a dude you could go and hang out with. And in this like 8-second clip, looks like Jay is really kicking it, man. Jay is having a good time. This seems like a video that's a little older. I think it's about 2 years old. That's what I'm hearing. And I went and did some digging and some research. And everyone seems to say that this is an older video from about 2 years ago or so. You know, and that's a rough estimate. I'm not sure. Again, I can't confirm nor deny any of this stuff. But it didn't happen yesterday. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. At this point, it's a 8-second clip or so of Jay looks like he's smoking some weed. Again, like I said, Jay looks like a dude you could go out and kick it with, all right? And I'm not shocked or surprised that Jay smokes weed if that is in fact weed he's smoking. I'm not shocked by that at all. You probably aren't either, okay? And then there's a little clip of Jay, first of all, drunk out of his mind. Again, Jay looks like a dude you can go kick it with. And he's sitting with someone, not his wife. Looks like a little thotty Pippin he's sitting with. And that's cool, man. It is what it is. I'm not here to judge that man. Again, what he does outside of football is totally his business. I don't want any parts of that. I don't want anything to do with that. And I'm upset that someone thought it was their business to go out and put this man's business out on Front Street. I'm not with that. That man's probably got a family and a lot of things going on. This was so unnecessary. So that takes me to my final point. This feels like a hit, and this feels like a hit sanctioned by Bruce Allen. That's what this feels like to me. And again, I could be wrong. And this is what happens when you handle things messy, all right? Bruce has handled things messy in the past. This organization has handled things messy. And remember what I said when we were talking about the whole Dwayne Haskins situation with should he have started or should he have come in the game versus the Giants? Or shouldn't he have? And I said, we're catching a lot of flack for it. And I said, I'm not here to defend the Redskins organization because anything said about the Redskins organization at this point, whether warranted or not, seems right. You know, it's either justified or it isn't, but it seems like people are piling on this organization when they do things, when they say things. And I can't refute anything. And I don't usually go back at them because everything that comes towards this organization is right or wrong. It's probably justified. It's probably warranted because of our track record, because of what this organization has stood for over the last 20 years under Daniel Snyder. And this reeks of a Bruce Allen move to try to recoup the rest of the money that Jay would be owed if they were to terminate him after Sunday's game. That's what this feels like. It feels like a hit on Jay, and I don't like it one bit. Now, this will be something that I'll be watching for. If he does, in fact, get fired after this Sunday's game after the Patriots, let's just say the Redskins lose the game as we expect, and it's not close, it's not competitive, and they get drubbed, and Bruce and Dan decide that they've had enough of Jay and they want to move on. If they go after this money that they have left on the books for Jay, and they say that there was, conduct detrimental to the organization and they felt like they needed to move on from Jay, then I'm going to go ahead and assume that this hit was put out by Bruce Allen. That's the assumption that I'm going to make. Whether right or wrong, I really don't give a damn. This reeks of that Scott McCloughan type of thing that happened. That's why when you do things like that, it comes back to haunt you moving forward, and people just assume things, and I'm just going to assume that Bruce put this hit out. Now, if they don't go after any money and Jay's able to collect the rest of his checks, then I'm going to assume that this was a disgruntled fan that wanted Jay gone and wanted to expedite the process. And they felt like it was their duty to go ahead and out Jay and make him look like a bad guy to help him get ousted, which if that's the case, that's despicable. Either way, it's despicable, the fact that this is out. But if a fan decided to take this upon themselves and they had this footage and they've been sitting on it for quite some time, or they just got their hands on it and they decided to put this out to the masses, that's shameful. So I honestly don't know who put the hit out. Somebody put a hit out on Jay, whether it was the organization or a fan that was done with Jay and was ready to see him be moved on from. Either way, someone put out a hit on Jay, and this shit is disgusting. All right, at the highest levels. But I don't feel any different about my man Jay. All this does is reinforce the notion that Jay seems like a guy you could go kick it with, man. Like I said, Jay over here with a thotty pippin with some weed, and he just kicking it, and he's drunk. Jay was having a good time, man. Again, I'm not saying that this is the right thing to do, especially when you got a family at home. But Jay's a dude you can kick it with, as I've mentioned before, and this just reiterates that. So I'm disappointed in the fact that this is out here. It's not a good look for Jay, the organization, or anybody involved. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. I could really care less about this, to be honest with you. I don't feel any differently about Jay Gruden. It's another black eye on the organization. So if, in fact, this is a hit by Bruce and he thinks he's doing the organization a favor and he's doing Dan a favor and a solid by being able to potentially recoup the rest of the money, you're not. You're making yourself and this organization look petty and small. And frankly, you're making your organization look even worse than it already is, if that's even possible. So I'm hoping that this wasn't a Bruce Allen sanctioned hit. It feels like one, but at the end of the day, whatever the case may be, Jay was getting fired anyway. This has no bearing on Jay's ability to coach. We already said that Jay was a subpar coach. That's already been established. This has nothing to do with that, and that's why I don't think this is a warranted hit. Whether it's a fan or the organization, it's dumb, it's pointless, and to be honest with you, it's petty as hell. And I don't like this one bit. And like I said, Jay, still a legend, man. I think this furthers the legend of Jay Gruden, man. Not a great coach, but a hell of a guy. This furthers the legend of Jay Gruden, man. But I don't like this one bit at all. But I want to ask you guys before I go, leave it in the comment section. Do you think that this was a sanctioned hit by Bruce Allen, or this was just a fan going rogue? Let me know in the comment section, man. I already told you how I feel. This reeks of Bruce Allen and Daniel Snyder looking to recoup every last single penny they can and damaging a guy on the way out, which has been the Redskins' MO since Bruce Allen got on board. This is what they do. They really drag people's name through the dirt. And as a wise man once told me, no one ever leaves this organization viewed in a better light than when they came in. All right. Every time you leave this organization, your name is tarnished when you leave. You come in and you may have a sparkling resume. You may be highly thought of. When you leave this organization, you're looked at in a totally different light and you're viewed as damaged goods, and they're doing the same thing to Jay Gruden. That's how I feel. How do you feel? Do you feel like this was just a fan going rogue, or do you feel like the organization put out one final hit on Jay Gruden to rub this man's name and his entire image through the dirt so they could try to recoup every single last penny they can out of the remaining deal left with Jay Gruden's contract? Let me know what you think in the comment section. Either way, this shit stinks. Really does, to high heavens. It stinks. It's funky as hell, and I don't like it. I am a Redskins fan, etched in burgundy and gold. My Redskins spirit will never die. Redskins spirit will never fold. Until we meet again, hail to our beloved Washington Redskins. I need to know from you guys. What do you think? Like I said, 8-second clip. Not really much here. It's definitely Jay, okay? But to me, to be honest with you, it's an old video. It has nothing to do, and it's an attack on this man's character, and I'm not with it. I'm just not. Simply put, I'm not with this at all. I'll talk to you guys later. After this ass whooping we take from the Patriots, we'll be back. We'll break it down, and we'll move on, and maybe we'll be moving on without Jay. We'll see if this video has any impact on this man's ability to continue as Redskins head coach. He's going to have to answer a bunch of questions after the game, whether he's getting canned or not, that he shouldn't have to. And it's ridiculous. It makes no sense whatsoever. half of that, no matter what happens versus the Patriots, half of that presser will be based off of this 8-second video clip, and that's despicable. It really is. But anyway, I'm out. See you guys next time.